All right, so buckle up everyone for another deep dive. Today, we're going to be heading back to July 1969.
Okay.
We're going to be experiencing the Apollo 11 moon landing through, a pretty unique piece of source material, a YouTube video, just packed with all this.
Yeah.
Original NASA footage.
Wow.
We're talking astronaut voices, mission control, even President Nixon himself, giving us like a raw, unfiltered glimpse of this massive event.
You know, it's amazing how this footage just captures, like, the human side of this.
Yeah.
Huge achievement.
Yeah.
We're not just seeing the lunar module land, but we're hearing that, like, nervous chatter and mission control, the gasps of relief, even the jokes they're cracking under, like, unimaginable pressure. It really puts you right there in the moment.
Yeah, it's like we've got a front row seat to history.
Yeah.
We're feeling all the tension and the excitement right alongside the people who lived it. Before we jump into all that, let's rewind a little bit. This mission was the result of years of work, and it was a really bold vision set out by President Kennedy.
Oh, absolutely. Back in 1962, Kennedy delivered that, like, electrifying speech at Rice University declaring that America was going to reach the moon before the decade was out.
Right.
And he didn't try to make it sound easy either. He said, "We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard." I think that challenge, that's what really resonated with the American public, especially during the Cold War.
Yeah.
This wasn't just about space exploration. It was about proving American ingenuity and strength on, like, a global stage.
It's so interesting how Kennedy framed it, not as like a victory lap, but as a test, a proving ground. Do you think that was intentional? Like to get people on board?
I think it was. By emphasizing how hard it would be, he made the achievement even bigger. He tapped into this human desire to overcome obstacles, to reach for something bigger than ourselves. And that idea, it resonated not just in America, but globally.
Okay, so let's fast forward to those final nail-biting moments of Apollo 11. As the lunar module was coming down, you can practically feel the tension, even through the speakers. The video even catches phrases like, "You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue," which really paints a picture of the anxiety in mission control. What must have been going through their minds at that moment?
Well, you have to remember, at that time, no one had ever landed on the moon before. The risks were huge. Not just the technical stuff, like navigating and landing, but also, like, the unknowns of the moon itself.
Right.
And then, beyond the technical side, there was that enormous pressure of representing an entire nation, carrying the weight of the world's expectations.
Yeah, and then that moment of collective relief comes in. Eagle, Tranquility base here. The Eagle has landed.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much emotion is packed into those few words. You can almost hear the weight lifting off their shoulders.
That moment, it's incredibly powerful. It shows what humans can do when we collaborate. Innovation, sheer perseverance, it's all there. But it also reminds us how much we relied on technology even back then. All the codes, the jargon, it highlights how complex this whole thing was and how vital, clear, precise communication was for it to succeed.
And then, of course, the moment that everyone remembers. Neil Armstrong climbing down that ladder, taking those first steps, and saying those iconic words.
Yeah.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
A quote that has been analyzed over and over again, and for good reason. It's brilliant in its simplicity. In just a few words, it sums up the enormity of what just happened. But it's also interesting to think about what that moment meant for the people back on Earth watching it live.
Yeah.
It wasn't just about getting to the moon. It was about pushing the boundaries of what humans could do, achieving something that was once considered impossible.
And the video shows that this feeling of achievement wasn't limited to just the astronauts or mission control. We see scenes of celebrations all around the world. People cheering, hugging, crying, tears of joy. Even in mission control, they say the cigars are being lit up. Really captures that shared sense of victory. What do you think this event revealed about human nature?
I think it speaks to our desire to be part of something bigger than ourselves, to connect with moments that go beyond our individual lives. The moon landing wasn't just an American achievement, it was a human achievement. And I think people really felt that, no matter where they were from. It gave them a sense of unity, of hope, in a time when the world often felt divided.
It's incredible to think how this event, broadcast in the living rooms worldwide, could evoke such powerful shared emotions. It wasn't just about the technology or the politics, it was about the human spirit, the drive to explore and to achieve the extraordinary.
Exactly. And that brings us to President Nixon's address, where he makes this fascinating comparison between the moon landing and George Mallory's attempt to conquer Mount Everest. Mallory famously said, when asked why he wanted to climb Everest, "Because it is there." Nixon uses this quote to highlight something really profound about human nature.
Yes, that quote, because it is there. It's always struck me as so simple, yet so profound. Can you unpack that a little more? What do you think it reveals about, like, the motivations behind exploration, pushing boundaries?
It speaks to that human curiosity, that urge to explore the unknown, to challenge ourselves and push the limits of what we think is possible. It's not always about a specific goal or reward. Sometimes it's about the journey itself, the discovery. And that's what the Apollo program was all about, a journey driven by scientific curiosity, a desire to understand our place in the universe, and a belief in the power of human ingenuity.
So as we look back on this amazing event, captured in this raw and unfiltered YouTube video, it really makes you think. What do you believe is the most enduring legacy of the Apollo 11 moon landing? Is it the technological advancements, the scientific discoveries, the political victory, or something even bigger?
It's a great question. It's easy to focus on the concrete outcomes, but I think the real legacy is the inspiration it gave us, the sense of possibility it ignited. It proved that even the seemingly impossible can be achieved if we put our minds to it and work together. And that, I believe, is a legacy that still resonates with us today.
What a powerful thought to end on. Thanks for joining us on this lunar adventure. And remember, there are tons of other deep dives out there, each one offering a unique perspective on the world. Until next time.